New York, season two. Just suddenly, through the raid of one of the IS buildings, Havika has acquired Jaina from their murderous clutches, as able to avoid the police, but not wishing to stay in any spot that wouldn't be able to protect Jaina, will continue moving on, taking her to the only place he could think of that would be safe to take her, that he could trust. Said his elder Lowsun, near near the mirror. He does his best to be away from the people. He'll still take advantage of his gift of the lizard to move around awkward passages and less treated areas to move as efficiently as possible to get to the mirror.
She does not have such a gift.
No, no, can I not hold her as I'm moving around?
Um, you're in the reel and you're making your way through New York. So once you guys get away from the police, um, I'm sure the lot of you can get back to Sept um, fairly handily. You won't need to use the gift of the lizard once you're on Sept. If you
Okay.
guys came in like Sept vehicles, if you carpooled, then you won't have too much of a problem getting back to Sept. It's probably a long night. There's probably some skulking and some waiting for uh, patrols to pass, that kind of thing. But you won't need to get too fancy once you're back on Sept and head towards the mirror.
Alrighty. Then, as we head towards the mirror, Havika would be very close to Gina, though he's not trying to exactly touch her right now. And
Havika, are you okay? He still has 2 ag worth of blisters on him, doesn't he?
yes,
She also
no,
does
I have
not try to.
no, I
Hmm?
have no, I have two because I soaked the other ones, and yeah, he
Yeah,
already
he
had
took
to.
the other. So she also does not try to touch him, but she's hovering close, anxious.
There is almost and it's not logical, but it's just almost like an angry flash on his face, and he just says, "Why would you think? Like, why would you worry about me at this moment?" He said, "You were kept by those monsters for I don't know how long, and they may have used a guy's breath to help clean up the superficial wounds. There's no telling what might be happening on the inside. I'm more worried about you."
She kind of recoils when you snap back at her. Um, like pulls her arms in to hug herself. She doesn't say anything, but when he finally says, "I'm more worried about you," she says, I'm okay. I'm okay."
He shakes his head and goes, "We're gonna make sure you're gonna be okay, and we're gonna make those people pay."
She looks at his arm, and if she can find an unblistered spot, she reaches to try and set her hand on his arm.
He flinches. He almost flinches, though not from the fear of hitting a nerve from the blisters. It's more almost not prepared to feel any contact from her right now. But he doesn't. He does. But once she touches him, he doesn't go further away.
She leaves her hand there, kind of watching him. Um, she's struggling to maintain her composure, but she takes her cue from him. And if he keeps his face stoic, she looks away and blinks hard several times, and then slowly and kind of gingerly takes her hand back.
And Haviga responds in Russian. He goes, "I'm sorry."
She answers him in the same tongue, and she says, "You came.
"I failed you."
You came for me."
Those monsters should have been able to touch you. I was careless.
I'm sorry.
It's not your fault. I never wanted anything like this to happen to you again, and I allowed it to happen. I wasn't vigilant enough.
Havoc, I'm not mad. I'm not mad. It's not your fault. Look at me. Thank you. I just.
Havaga, he's like almost trying to he's forcing himself to turn to actually look at her. His face covered in anger and shame. And he just simply says, "You have every right to be furious with me."
She kind of. She takes a step towards him and then kind of steps into him. You know what I mean? Like she doesn't press hard, but she just kind of comes up against him to like hide her face in his shoulder. And she says, "Just tell me I'm safe now."
We will be. And as they continue to the mirror, he states, "If they were to attack here, I would know. And the people here are people like that we can trust."
Yeah.
Um, as we arrive to the mirror, how they got to be looking for signs to move relatively quietly, but hopefully not setting off any alarms because he doesn't want to cause any issues right now.
Mm-hmm. There's no alarms on Sept.
Okay.
I mean, there's spirit alarms, but neither you or both you and Jane are known to them.
Okay.
So you approach the mirror and you can see from a distance that Lowsun is waiting. She's positioned herself so that you can see her in the moonlight, bundled up against the cold.
When he sees her, as he continues to guide Jaina, there is um, he almost seems to drop to a knee, almost in respect and also probably in a lot of pain.
She looks alarmed. When she sees the two of you coming towards her and then sees you falter, um, she starts to hurry.
He forces himself, at least tries to force himself to stand back on his feet, and just kind of almost in a low whimper. She needs tending to.
No, I don't. He's hurt. I'm not. Lowsun just kind of looks between the two of you.
And Havka will continue. Gaia bless me resilience. I said, I will recover.
She goes with her hands, and then she reaches out and she's going to try and use Mother's Touch on you. I'm going to guess what her dice pool is because I don't feel like looking it up. What's your rage at right now?
My rage is at max, which is 3.
Okay. Yeah, she heals the remaining ag on you. There's kind of laughter in her eyes, like when she goes to touch you, you feel like you're about 2 seconds away from her swatting you in the ass. Young lady, tell me truly, are you injured? And Janice says, no, I'm okay. And Lowsun says, well then, what happened?
Our adversary is cunning and vicious. They captured her while I was away. I was able to retrieve her, but they used some type of device that leaked some type of energy. I think it was radiation in a room that when we tried to save her from.
That sounds strange and dangerous.
The adversary was a glass walker.
She reaches out to stroke the hair from Jaina's forehead, almost motherly, and then she goes back to where she was standing and comes back with a large coat to bundle Jaina into it. So, are you coming to lay low for a little while?
There's nowhere else safe I could think of to go for us.
She nods.
And with the healing and feeling the pain reside, the skin feeling dry and taut from the radiation, we'll move closer to Jaina and be very protectively close to her.
Mm-hmm. She comes up to try and slip an arm around his waist.
He doesn't shy away this time.
I'm sorry, Havika.
Right now, I don't know if I have any sorry left in me. It's just rage and vengeance now.
I understand. That's what it's like being a Garu.
It's just easier this way. Even if I wasn't, I'd still be furious. That woman would be left for the dogs to take care of.
I didn't tell them anything.
There is a mixed reaction on his face, like of relief and also kind of, it's not necessarily despair, but more exasperation almost. And he responds, I wouldn't care if you did.
I did my duty.
And he thinks back to the wife of, um, I want to say Booker, but I don't think that
Braun?
is the Braun, yeah. And kind of remembering what they did and somewhat seeing her face and Jada's face. And he'll just say, from these past days, that scares me. I wouldn't want any tortures they brought to you continue on if you could save yourself.
By endangering you? No.
Thank you.
She nods. She doesn't really trust her voice. You warned me it was dangerous. I even knew there was a woman with a Russian accent running around, but I didn't. When she pulled up, didn't. It was very fast. But once I heard her speak, I knew that I knew it was bad.
I should have prepared you better.
I can't take down a Garu. I,
Where was William? He should have been with you.
no, I was on the way to class. She was. I think she was in Glabro. She's just so strong, big, and
So don't blame yourself. You did what you could.
don't blame yourself either. Deal.
I need to take responsibility for this.
And so will I. I guess you do need to train me better then. I'm not sure I like the idea of having Silver in the house, but maybe it's time.
He nods to that, though. There's a look of pain when she says she wants to take the responsibility too, and it's there's also a mixture of, you know, of comfort in that, but it's painful to hear her say that. And he will look up to Lowsun and say, "Is because it is still winter time. It's like, and he'll stay. Is there enough room to support support her? Yeah,
Oh, sure. We
thank
can find somebody who's got room to put her up. Somewhere safe. Don't worry. You can come too if you want, Havika.
you." And he says, "I'll be nearby, but I don't. I can support the wilderness better than she can."
The wilderness.
Well, wait, does the mirror actually have lodging? I'm assuming it's more like kind of a cave or den system that they're using over here.
No, the mirror is just a little tiny lake.
Okay, that's sorry. That is my fault.
She will be. No, you're fine. She will be taking Jaina off of the sept probably to um, some kinfolk place she believes is safe.
Okay, then yeah, I wouldn't say that. Yeah, he just followed in suit because he would not want to leave her.
Okay. So you guys Before you leave the sept, um, she pulls you all to um, the cover of the trees and hands you both basically different jackets. And she pulls one on herself. Um, she gives you a bus station to meet her at, and then she sends you off in a different direction than her in case you guys are being watched somehow. When you meet up with her at the different bus station, she takes you on a fairly circuitous trip around the city. You don't actually end up going very far, but it takes you quite a while. Um, Ducking in and out of alleys and always keeping an eye on the sky. But eventually you wind up at a house. The people who greet you when the door opens bear a striking resemblance to Lowsun. The apartment is warm and the people in it are cheerful and welcome you in with open arms. There's a lot of introductions to go around, and a lot of, once they hear that things have been horrible, there's a lot of sympathy and, you know, people pressing food into your hands and trying to bring you things that might help. Alcohol, warm drinks, blankets.
He would, he would gladly thank them when they give us concessions, and as the night goes by, Hanukkah is turning mad wheels in his head, thinking of things to do to find these people, things to do to further protect what they have. And he also thinks, oh, excuse me, um, what kind of setup they were forced to be through. Yeah. And thinks about the carnage that they left behind, and the fact that the carnage that left behind is very unusual.
Yes, it is.
And hopes that Jacob can take care of it the best he can. But as they are, um, as the night gets further into the time, Havika will be just staying near Jaina, and make sure that she's tended to, anything she needs, that he's there to be helpful for.
She's she seems shaky. She does her best to put on a smile in front of these people who are obviously trying very hard to comfort you both. Um, and she relaxes as the night goes on. Um, you can you feel like it's almost an act of kindness on her part to just deal with the offers of help gently and gratefully instead of with fear. But she doesn't take her eyes off of you if she can help it. She's constantly checking where Havika is in the room. Um, it's going to take her a while before she feels safe again. But as long as he's close, she relaxes much more.
Um, Before they sleep for the night, um, he said, said he would ask her, just because though they have been healed, if she needs her space, like that, they don't have to sleep in the same bed together. So
No,
just,
please don't leave me.
you know, and he shakes his head, and and first time through the night, really make sure to contact her and hug her very tightly.
Yeah, she wraps her arms around him in a grip that, like, he's a Garu. He'll heal, right? Doesn't quite crack bones, but she clings.
So, and he'll begin, speaking, um, minor prayers and, um, minor prayers in Russian for their protection when they sleep and safety. Yeah, protection, sleep, and calmness as protection and calmness as they sleep. Yeah, but
Oh,
uh, with that, thank you players for playing. Thank you watchers for watching. Have a good morning, evening, or night.